Hi, my name is Ricardo O'Nascimento. I'm so sorry I cannot be there with you today for the conference, but I record this video and I hope you can get some useful information from it. So I'm based in Loughborough in UK, where I'm doing a PhD in electronic textile at the Loughborough University, and I've been work in the field of fashion and technology since about 10 years. And my topic today is new materials and processes, investigations towards a more sustainable future. So let's start. Well, this image, it run the world. There's no planet B. We are seeing around lots of manifestations concerning environmental issues, global warming. It's a reality, and we are facing a time where we cannot ignore anymore the environment issues. And as you know, and probably my colleagues in the other talks, they are talk a little bit more about this. The fashion industry is one of the most polluted industry in the world. It's the second one, and something has to be done, and this has to be done right now. We don't have time anymore. I think the environmental agenda nowadays is the most important agenda ever, because as is in this board, there is no planet B. We do have to act. And and in fashion, we are here with three types of economies. This is in Spanish, but I hope you can understand a little bit more. The first one, is the linear economy. So that's a line. So you start, you fabricate, you use it, and then you throw it away. So it's a sort of like straight line. And this is the most aggressive model, economic model for the environment. The other model is the recycling model, where you start the production, you fabricate, you use, and part of it you recycle, fabricate, use, recycle, and eventually you throw what you don't want anymore. So in this model, there are less waste, but still there's some waste. And this waste that is there, we still cannot afford. So it's just not enough to recycle, just not enough. And this goes for fashion, but also goes for everything, like in our houses and the food and the packaging and everything. So we cannot afford this anymore. So the model that raised from this problem and that propose a solution for this for the problem of waste is the circular economy. I hope someone will talk more in depth about this in the conference. But basically, the circular economy, it works like this: you will start, and then you fabricate, and you use, and then you repair, you mend, you reutilize, you recycle, you give it back to the factory, because the factory should have the responsibility for the product during the whole cycle. Is not just, oh, I am a designer, right? So I do a cloth and then I sell this cloth and then it's not my problem anymore. Wrong. It is your problem. You have to be aware that you are responsible. If your client throw this clothes in the bin and ends up in the trash field, it is your responsibility to take care of it. And this is the mentality that we have to change, from the company perspective, but also from the consumer perspective. And the circular economy to work, it is based in three big piles. The first one is concerns the industry. So the industry, it needs models, manufacture models, ways of producing that are less aggressive to the environment. So this is one block. The second one is the material. We do need materials that are more sustainable, materials that during their fabrication do not pollute so much or do not pollute at all the environment, and material that allows allow it to be recycled, allow it to be mended, allow the circular economy to happen. And the third pile is the consumer experience, because it's you as a designer or a company, you can plan all this circular economy, but at the end, if your client do not come back to you with the product that he doesn't want or she doesn't want, so all your work is in vain. So you have to have strategies to attract the consumer back to your store, back to the sale point, and so the consumer have this chance to feed the circular economy. This is very important. But here in this presentation, I will tackle only two of these pillars: the the manufacture process and the materials. One example that became very famous is the partnership that Stella McCartney did with Adidas. So, in one side, you see this hood that's called Infinite Hood, that, according to Dan, respect the whole cycle of a circular economy. And on the other side, this dress, it's a biodegradable dress, which means that if you throw this dress at bin, and it end up in the field, it will get degradable. It will degrade, so it will be consumed by nature without polluting it. But however, these two projects are very nice. They are still prototypes, so there are lots of initiatives in this direction, but they are still very experimental. And again, we do not have time, so we do need a circular economy for fashion. We do need products that allow the circular economy to happen. And I'm gonna give some examples of ways that this might happen. In talking about manufacturing process, this is a work from Dannyt Lake. She is an Israeli designer, and she designed clothes using 3D print technology, or additive manufacturing. So the thing is that the 3D technology allows you to print clothes on demand. It allows you to use materials that are biodegradable, and allow you to decentralize the production. So the production could be everywhere in the world. So you save in transportation, the CO2 emission is lower, so it's all good. The thing is that, as you can see, this design it's still very experimental. It's not so much wearable. So this technology of producing textiles using 3D print or using additive manufacture, it still have a long way to go until we can print something that has the look and feel of a textile as we know it. Like flexible, soft to the touch, and this character is stretchable. This character is that a textile can have. But then Peleg points out a direction where we can go. So we produce less, we produce ultra personalized items, and the production is decentralized. So I would pay attention on additive manufacturing as a way of producing. Another technique in manufacturing is to use laser to dye jeans, the denim. It's not actually dyes, to engrave. So I don't know if you know, but the traditional process of doing these interventions on jeans involves lots of manual labor. Like you have really to scrub the jeans until you make a sort of a damage to it, and then you have to wash it. And in this process, you will spend a lot of water. And using machines like this one that it's on the video, you can have the same effect very fast, and using absolutely no water, and it's much more sustainable and much less aggressive to the environment. So laser, it's a technique that where you can create patterns, drawings, you can customize your jeans, and of course it also works with other materials, but jeans is like the most common one that that can that use this technique. So this is also another way of manufacturing and customizing clothes, which is less aggressive to the environment. There's a company here in UK called Faber Future, which is a company that investigates the process of dyeing using a bacteria. The bacteria is called Streptomyces qualicolor, and it it changes its color based on the pH on the medium where it's grown. It has been grown, and the medium, of course, can be a textile. So through using this bacteria, you can dye the textile in different colors. It's still experimental, but the advantage of this method is that you use way less water in the process of dyeing, which you should know. The dyeing process of fabrics in general is like is the place where the use more water and use like really heavy chemicals, and using this technique and with bacteria, you might be able to reduce the environmental impact in this process. Another company, it's a Living Color from Netherlands. They use also bacteria to dye clothes. So as you can see, there's a trend in use biological processes in fashion, which is a trend that it's here, it's growing, and it's great. And in this company especially, they do not play genetic engineering, meaning that they do not change bacteria. They don't play with the bacteria because, maybe you're trying to solve a problem, you engineer a bacteria and then it's solved, and then you throw this bacteria in the environment, and then you create another problem because you don't know how the environment will respond to this bacteria because it's something external to it. So we have to be very, very careful when we are using living materials, because maybe we can create a problem that didn't exist before. So, and this company opt to do not play genetic engineering, and they are very conscious about the consequences of their technology. So that's one of the reasons as well that it's why this technology goes so slow, because you have to do many, many, many tests until you say, okay, it's safe, we can use. Another company, it's Modern Meadow from USA. They got very famous because they got a T-shirt at MoMA. So they have this lab that grows from collagen. So no animal were harmed in the production of this leather. And in my opinion, this is the one that feels and that has the look and feel of actual leather. So Modern Meadow is investing. It's a startup. It got like millions in investments. It's growing very fast in US, and they investigate like this technologies, how to grow material in the laboratory. Similar to it, there's Mycotex from the Netherlands. Mycotex uses mycelium to create a fabric. Mycelium is a sort of a fungus. It's that pass through a process in a laboratory and create this membrane that you can stick together and create a fabric. And you can see here in this image there are lots of circles on it. So these are like the petri dishes. So she grows. I say she because it's from an Aniela, I think, and she grows the mycelium in these petri dishes, and afterwards she molds the mycelium on a 3D model, so she can create garments also customized. So if you combine this with this method with the 3D print, you can have really customized garments made out of this material, which is totally biodegradable. She won like last year or a year before the H&M prize for like sustainability, and now she's working on way to scale up this production. And what is interesting in this material is that if you, for example, have a jacket made out of mycelium, and then you walk around and then it damage a little bit, there's a little scratch on it, or like open, some part open, you could potentially get a new piece of mycelium and glue on your clothes, and then you mend it in a very easy way. So this is the Mycotex. Another material that became quite popular nowadays is the Piñatex. Piñatex is from Spain and used the leaves of the pineapples to create this leather type material. As you can see, there are lots of leather type materials created from food waste. This is also another trend, food waste to create textile, because you can break this material and get the fiber out of it. Here in this image you can see the process. So you get the leaves from the pineapple, you smash them, you wash, and then here they wash in the river, but I don't know, and then you dry it, and then you create this fabric, and then you sort of felt the fabric together, and then they have different types of finish that you can see here at the end. So you have like the silver, the gold, and the one thing about this material is that it's quite fragile, it's quite delicate, and this is an issue for several food-based leather type fabrics. I once there's a little parenthesis. There's a company. There's a brand here in UK called Silver. It's from a Brazilian guy, Brazilian designer, and he designed a jacket made out of apple leather, which is like great. I should have an image, but anyway, Silver. You search for it, and I had a friend who bought it, and then she bought this jacket. It was super expensive, like I don't know, £1,000, and then she just scratched slightly the wall, and it was damaged. So yeah, very fragile. This is something that it still have to like to improve. And also, if the care of this type of materials is slightly different than we do with the leather. It's not totally different because the leather is also an organic material, right? So it can get like fungus if it's too humid, and the same thing with with the food, no? The leather made out of food waste. Another company that makes a fiber out of food is Orange Fibers, a company from Italy. And in my opinion, this is the one that actually could create a fiber which is soft to the skin, and it's the closest to, for example, cotton. And you can see here in the image, and they made not so long ago, they made a collection together with how's it called, Salvatore Ferragamo, in Italy. So they use this fabric to produce their clothes. So here again is an example that there are some type of materials, not all of them are ready for the market. They have like a certain limitation, the scalability, but it still is doable. It's doable to do this. Another example, it's Malai from India. So they produce this leather type material based on organic bacterial cellulose from the coconut, and they also use a natural dye to dye in different colors, and it really looks like a leather, but you can still see some fibers, gives a really distinguished look to your product. And when you use this type of products in your design, you for sure are gonna use something that is gonna put your product in another level. And here one idea that I separate specially for you guys, because it's about wine. I remember last year we went to a winery, and it was so delicious. And then when I saw this, I immediately remembered you guys from Moldova. This company is Vegea from Italy. They use what is called the pomace, which are the stalks, the skin, and seeds, which are the leftover of the wine production. Normally, this leftover is used like to fertilize the soil or as food for animals, but it can be much more than that. So this project was made together with the university in Firenze, and they developed a process where they produce the leather. So here you can see like the steps. So the first is the grape juice extraction, and then the grape mark separation that will separate this material, and then you dry, and then go through the chemical treatments, which they claim that it's they don't use heavy chemicals, and then pass through another step, which is the compounding, and then at the end the coating and finish. You have this distinguished wine leather. I wonder how they smell, because all these materials, they do smell like the original source. So I imagine if this smells like grape or like wine, that would be that would be interesting. So these are examples of materials that can be used in your production to be more sustainable. And I will finish here with some tips on how to get the knowledge to do these things, because you see all these initiatives and the stories that people that are working in years and years in this field, and maybe you there in Moldova, you want to try to fabricate this type of sustainable materials and don't know how to start. So I will recommend to you the Fabric Academy, Textile and Technology Academy. Fabric Academy, it's academy that has the same style as the Fab Lab. They have nodes all around the world, and they have courses. The courses are online. So you go to, like, for I probably Moldova you don't have a node, but if you want to open I know that there's a Fab Lab there. Maybe they want to open a node, and so you have a class, and the classes are online at the same time from all the nodes, and then you have the exercise, and at the end you develop a project. And the projects that comes out from Fabric Academy, they are being awarded everywhere. In Spain with the Fashion Week, the last collection was that won the prize Ego was from an alumni from Fabric Academy, and from conference there was an alumni that developed like also with Mycelium that got several prizes. And the teachers are the best in the world that you can get. And in this academy you learn lots of aspects. You learn dyeing process, fabricating process, you learn electronics if you want to make some wearables, you learn a little bit of 3D print techniques, all the knowledge that you need to produce this sustainable fashion that we are talking about. Another source of information is the Green Lab. They have a wiki in the Green Lab where they publish in an open source way all the recipes to make these materials. They have lots of recipes with kombucha, bioplastic. So this is a great source if you want to start by yourself, to investigate a little bit more how to create this material. So this is a good place to go. And besides that, there are several prizes and initiatives around the world that gives money and funding and support for projects like this. For example, this HM prize. There was this Worth project that just closed like yesterday. I'm sorry, but if you pay attention, there are several ways to get funding to your idea. Another Another place where you might find helpful is the wheresustain.eu, the Where Sustain Knowledge platform. In this platform, there are like over 300 companies, schools, there are like investors, there are like incubators and accelerators, there are like governmental institutions, there are creative hubs that can help you to develop your project. And you go to this platform, you get their contact, and then you initiate a conversation. So if you have an idea and then you need a partner and you need an investor, just try wheresustain.eu, and then you might find your partner there. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. I leave you here with my Instagram, Ricardo O'Nascimento. And I wish you a great conference. Please pay lots of attention, talk to people, exchange ideas, and I hope that you can leave here inspired and energized and powered up to really make a difference, because we really do need, and we do it now, and we need you guys, we need everybody to step up and change the game so we can still be stylish but in a more sustainable way. So thank you very much. Bye bye.